to Eagles pregame live. Eagles game day is here. We are breaking down Eagles versus Patriots, top storylines, matchups, everything. Joining me, my man Big Al. What's going on, dude?
What's going on, boys? Birds today. God, it felt like forever.
Man, it's going to be a fun day. My man Ryan Reese down there of Party on Broad and Philly Sports Alliance. What's up, Ryan?
Not much, man. We finally made it. We're here. We got to this day. We didn't think we were going to do it. We made it. Great offseason. Now let's get to some actual football here today, baby.
Let's freaking go. Guys, if you're watching us live, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment your feelings, vibes, everything about Eagles versus Patriots. Let's jump right into our first question of the afternoon. Biggest storylines week one for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll start with you, Ryan. Lead us off.
Yeah, I think everybody's wondering about the Super Bowl hangover. Is this team going to continue where it left off? Running through the NFL, to the league's best record, running through the playoffs, coming up, just short of that Super Bowl victory. So I think that has to be certainly on the mind of Eagles fans, a little bit of the concern, especially with the coordinators switching out. Are we going to be able to keep that going? So I think that's the first question in everybody's mind. Is this train going to keep on going for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Love it, man. What about you, Big Al?
I got a couple one. It's the Philly D-line versus the Pats banged up O-line. Will that be, and it kind of can go into one of our other topics a little later. I won't break into it, but that's going to be the biggest storyline for me to pay attention to is the O-line as banged up for the Pats as they say it is, and can this D-line, especially with rookie Jalen Carter getting his first taste of the NFL, can he eat as Ryan is motioning down there, and will he eat? And I expect him to be full by the end of the game.
I love it. I think we're going to be talking about Jalen Carter very, very soon.
Yeah.
My biggest storyline. What's going on, Karina? By the way, thanks for joining. Let us know your vibes right now. Thanks for joining. I think it's Sean Desai. I think everyone knows how elite, dominant this Eagles offense is going to be. But for me, it begins and ends with what the heck are we going to see from this Eagles defense? Sean Desai is going to bring in an aggressive attack mode mindset kind of defense to Philadelphia. We don't know anything. We're kind of in the unknown. We didn't see anything during the preseason. It was all vanilla. Listen, I'm not a Gannon supporter by any means, but I thought he was okay. He wasn't he wasn't as bad as I think the media kind of portrays him to be. But for me, we didn't really ever get the defense that Gannon ever promised us, the stunts, all that kind of stuff. In fact, the Eagles ranked dead last in using stunts and things like that in their blitz packages and things like that. They only used defensive line stunts on 13.9% of their pass plays. That ranked dead last in the NFL by 3%. So are we going to get that today? I don't know. We'll see. I expect a heavy rotation on that D-line, but it's going to be a ton of fun. Karina says, is it 4 p.m. yet? Anxious for the game. I've cleaned my house. I've made 2 different dishes that are over there in my kitchen. I took the dog to the dog park. That's what Eagles Sundays are, man. It's just, you just keep yourself busy, right, guys?
The prep is real, especially the dives home. But yeah, no, it's exactly what it is. You're clearing your slate. You're clear. I don't care. It's 1 o'clock game, a 4 o'clock game, an 8 o'clock game, or Monday night game. You make sure your slate is clean. You want no other distractions. I tell my kids, unless your limbs are falling off your body, don't bother me. I don't want to be. It is Eagles time. And you bring up a good point. I put both coordinators down as one of my other storylines going into it. Will there be a difference? I mean, I think the Sean Desai one is. I've been a big proponent of Sean Desai. Who he's worked with in the past. We've seen him in Seattle. We see what he can do. And like you said, the Eagles defense last year, people are like, oh, well, we don't know what Sean Desai. It's a big question mark. I agree. Big question mark. But as vanilla as the defense was last year, it was the key components of this team that made it as dominant as it was. Now, losing Javon Hargrave could be a factor, especially with picking up all those sacks and stuff that they lined up. But my point to this is I think that we're missing those. That will even it out. If not, bring it better, because how you have such a dominant defense without stunting, without throwing any blitz packages in, is just mind-boggling.
Yeah, it is. Another big storyline, of course, is the weather. It's not going to be great weather down there, from what I was told or heard. It looks like there's gonna, it could be a type of run kind of game, which kind of bodes well for the New England Patriots in many respects. That the New England Patriots, they had a very good passing DVOA last season. I think they were second best, but they were also a team that got picked apart again and again by opposing offenses, big passes, 15 yards or more, over and over and over again. If you take that element out of the Eagles' offense, which they are so elite at with A.J. Brown and Devontae and Dallas Goedert, we'll see what happens. But that is something to watch. I think for me, Sean Desai and that run defense in particular, Nakobe Dean, we'll get into it. But that's what I'm watching. Let's jump right into our first commercial before we get into top matchups. Go ahead, Big Al.
Speaking of all these great Eagles games, and Ryan and I we've definitely been partaking with Philly Sports Trips. But if you are not there, because Philly Sports Trips is in New England right now, so you've missed out on that one. I know the Jets game's already sold out with them, but the next one you can sign up for the away game is this Tampa trip, the 22nd and 26th. They got Hollis Thomas, Vince Papale, David Akers. Always say it, guys, phillysportstrips.com, and it's not just for away games. They got home games. They got everything. Flyers, Sixers, baseball, you name it, they got it. You need to check it out. Go to phillysportstrips.com. It is not just a tailgate. It is just on a flight, a ticket. It is a friggin' experience. Go to phillysportstrips.com right now.
All right, guys, we are about to get into our key matchups of the game. Guys, if you're watching us live wherever, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you name it, hit that like button. Help us out. Let's jump into our key matchups, Eagles versus Patriots. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this show. Top matchups to watch. Lead us off, Big Al. What's one of your ones on your radar?
It will be top matchups will be our stellar wide receivers, and they also banged up secondary for your New England Patriots. With Jack Jones, he's out. He's ruled out for the game. Now you got to have a young rookie, Christian Gonzalez, step up against A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and the crew there. That's going to be a difficult one. The other Jones, Marcus Jones, going to be able to step up, work with Christian Gonzalez on the other side. And then also they have some Miles Bryant and Sean Wade in the backgrounds in the second, backing them up. Can they handle it? I don't think so, but that's maybe the homer and me talking. But it's going to be some tough sledding, especially with Christian Gonzalez. I like Christian Gonzalez. He was one of the guys I had coming to the Eagles possibly. But this is going to be a big, big test, week one of your NFL career.
Isn't it funny? Like, Christian Gonzalez was like atop of many of our Eagles draft boards, Ryan. And we face him week one, man. Welcome to the freaking NFL, Christian Gonzalez, because you're going up against the best duo in football in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And I said Devontae Smith first because I think this dude is ready to blow up in 2023. Ryan, what is your matchup?
Yeah, so because of the way that this game might go because of the weather, and before I even knew about the weather, I was going to be focusing on the run game, and most particularly our run defense. I want to see how our team is against the Patriots running backs. Ramondre Stevenson had a fantastic rookie campaign and really looks to add on to that. They brought in Zeke for a little veteran presence, third down guy, maybe goal line kind of guy. So they obviously have, and certainly Zeke has always seemed to do well against us, when he was with the Cowboys. So, and starting off last year, our run defense was not great. In fact, that's why we brought in, Sue and we brought in, why am I blanking on his name already? But
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever.
We all just had a brain fart.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, collective.
Thank God there's no smell-o-vision on this one.
Yeah,
Gross.
so we brought in guys to help, our run defense because, again, it wasn't great. So, that obviously really did help throughout the year. So I want to see how we start off this year with our run defense against a good running game that we might be in a game where it's a lot of running going on throughout the game. So that's going to be my focus. How are the linebackers going to step up and add to this run defense? How is that interior defensive line with Davis and Carter and all of them? How are they going to handle this run game?
Yeah, that's huge. That is a really big one, especially how the linebackers hold up against a pair of tight ends for the Patriots that are big, 6'5", 6'6". You look at Gesicki, you look at Hunter Henry. That is definitely going to be a big one. Nakobe Dean, will probably be talking about him very, very soon as well. My top matchup to watch, and I always like to cheat on these things, but I'm going Jalen Hurts versus Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, if you take the GM out of him, he's always a guy that, I'm a little always worried about him. He's been pumping up Jalen Hurts like crazy, and that has me a little worried because, you never know. Week one, this is like the one game the Eagles could absolutely get sniped for a loss here. But Jalen Hurts versus Bill Belichick, more specifically, can the Patriots slow down the Eagles' RPO offense? They really have struggled. You look at week 3 in 2022 against the Ravens, Lamar Jackson carved them up. Patriots lose 37-26. The Bears also had an RPO offense behind Justin Fields in week 7, 2022. Fields had 82 rushing yards and a score in a 33-14 Patriots loss. We all know just how dominant Jalen Hurts is and that RPO offense, man. Hurts averaged 7.8 yards per play in 2022 in the RPOs. I don't know, can the Patriots slow down this RPO offense? I don't think they can. And I think we're going to see a ton of it with the weather as it is. So does anybody else have a matchup to watch?
Yeah, here's my thing is you kind of alluded to it. I say Bill Belichick versus Sirianni. Again, the coaching comes into it. I really feel Nick Sirianni doesn't get enough love for all he's done over the last couple of years. Bill Belichick, I think we could put it to bed that was it Belichick or Brady that made it great, or was it the combination? I think Tom Brady put it all to bed. People think Tom Brady coming back today for Tom Brady Day in Foxborough is a good idea. I think it's a bad idea. I think you're just reminding these fans, you're reminding this team what this organization used to be and what the Eagles are becoming. I think it's a bad idea, and I think it's going to hurt them in the long run. So that's it. And then I guess my other matchup is Jalen Carter versus his first NFL start. Not Jalen Carter versus the O-line. Ain't worried about that. I just want to know Jalen Carter versus his first NFL start. Does he get the butterflies out of his system quickly, and does he feast? We all believe it's going to happen that way, but time will tell.
Yeah. Could someone pull up the injury report real quick? Because I know Michael Onwenu and Cole Strange were questionable.
So right now, I looked this up right before we went live. Stevenson should play because it was an illness, but they said he was in meetings, so he should be all right. Devontae Parker out skis. He is not playing. And right now, Cole Strange and Onwenu, I don't know how you say it.
You got it.
Yeah, he is. They are both questionable. They're expected to play, but they think they're going to be rotating them in with the rookie. What's his name? Mafi. He'll probably be coming in. So you got another rookie going up against a really stout D line, kind of interchangeably. So that we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I love the Jalen Carter matchup. He was my number one guy on my draft board. I can't believe he fell to the Eagles, man. It's time. You look at, center David Andrews is really good. He's arguably a top 10 center in the NFL. But the way he was feasting throughout the preseason, everything we read, everything we heard, man, I can't wait to see Jalen Carter. And I'm going to have a Jalen Carter video out tonight of every single snap that we see from this dude. I can't wait. But yeah, that Eagles run defense with Jalen Carter, the Patriots only look at this. The Patriots ball carriers picked up at least 3 yards before contact on just 20% of carries last season, which was 29th in the NFL. I expect Jalen Carter to keep that rolling. This guy is a beast. His twitch, his spin moves, his swim moves, bull rush. He's just an elite athlete, and the legend of Jalen Carter starts today. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Another really big matchup to watch, I think, is Hassan Reddick. You look at the New England Patriots placing Riley Reif on the IR. You look at a guy in Calvin Anderson that's going to be trying to replace him at right tackle. He played 438 snaps at left tackle last year, gave up 22 pressures in 14 games. This is where I kind of let off the show, and I'm really excited. This kind of goes with Sean Desai and what kind of blitz packages we're going to see. The Eagles weren't a blitz-heavy team last year. They were kind of in the middle of the pack at 26.4%. Again, they were dead last in stunt and simulated pressure usage at 13.9%. So I'm excited to see what this Sean Desai defense is, because Hassan Reddick, for a good segment of last season, he was arguably Defensive Player of the Year. He's that good. So I can't wait. It's going to be fun to see how Hassan Reddick looks under Sean Desai against a banged-up Patriots offensive line. And with that being said, let's go to our next commercial. Big Al.
Hey, guys. Sometimes things happen in life, and life-altering type things, workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law, and you need a guy to fight for your rights and fight to get you better and fight to get what you deserve. You go to David R. Cherry at the Cherry Firm or cherryinjurylaw.com, or call him simply at 610-565-0300. David R. Cherry is the man who will fight for your rights. cherryinjurylaw.com, or simply call him at 610-565-0300.
All right, next topic of the afternoon. Biggest X factor this week that we think, kind of underrated storyline, underrated player that's going to have a big impact in this one. Lead us off, Big Al. Who's your guy?
Actually, I'm looking on, and we talked about him a little earlier, and there's a lot of rookies we're talking about today, but I'm looking on the Pats side of the ball. The X factor is going to be that Christian Gonzalez matchup right now. Like I said, he is going to be thrown into the fire against some premier wide receivers, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, you name it. That is a tough task to ask, even when you have a guy on the other side like Jack Jones. So he'll be an X factor in this game on both sides of the ball, for both sides, for both teams. So, but especially for the Pats. So he's an X factor out of the box I'm looking at.
Love it. What about you, Ryan?
Listen, Dibes, you're going to hate me here because I don't doubt that you have some trick up your sleeve, but I'm going to have to say Nakobe Dean. This guy is now going to be relied upon to be the linebacker, to be the man, to be the guy in the middle, being the quarterback of the defense. And, we didn't see a lot from him last year. He wasn't in many plays. We saw a brief glimpse of him in the second half of the one game where, he shined a little bit, and we saw a little bit, and that's all we were really going on. And he wasn't really in the preseason much. And so there's a lot of expectations on this guy. And, he was a high draft pick. He slipped to us in the third. So there's a lot of pressure on this guy to come in and be the guy. And if he can come in and just have himself a game, I think it's going to ease the minds of Eagles fans throughout the Delaware Valley that, okay, listen, maybe we don't have to worry about Dean. He is the guy who we thought, he is the steal of the draft from last year. Let's move on, and we'll worry about the next thing that we need to worry about. So Dean coming in, if he has a day, defense will run just fine.
Is it weird that I am not worried about him at all? Is it weird?
I love it. No, I love it.
I feel like I'm like the least doubter of Nakobe Dean, and not because I'm a huge former Nakobe Dean fan or Georgia Bulldogs guy. I don't know why. I just have this confidence still. He has that leadership mentality. I don't know. I'm just very confident in him.
Awesome. Honestly, that makes me feel better about it, because I am and as Dives will tell you, I am a huge Nakobe Dean guy. I absolutely loved him. I practically did a backflip when we drafted him. I could not be happier that he was on this squad. And, again, we just haven't seen him. And now he's being pushed into this role, because we have no other choice. And not that I don't think that he has the skill set, because he clearly does. And as you said, he clearly has the leadership. We saw it at Georgia. And they obviously trust him enough to give him that green dot on defense. So that means something.
With very little snaps last year. I mean, the one game that he got in towards, like, a little garbage time. When he was in there, he tallied up the tackles. Like, we saw him do it in such a small subset, but he was able to do it. Like, I don't know why. Again, I just have this extreme confidence in him. Maybe it's the homer in me again. I don't know, but I really like what I've seen from Nakobe Dean so far, and I have all the confidence in the world until he proves me otherwise.
I love it. That's the way we all should be.
Hate to be the negative Nancy. I'm definitely nervous. You look at Stevenson, you look at Elliott. These are big dudes. Nakobe Dean's first start. He's going to get extensive snaps. This isn't like the defensive line. This isn't like the safety spot. This isn't like running backs. The Eagles their depth there is not as great, and I'm a little concerned. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like 60% excited, 40% nervous, if that makes sense. But
you said it perfectly. You said it perfectly. It's because of the depth, I think. Because if he doesn't work out, what the hell else are we gonna do?
I think the plan's there, but we're just not seeing it a little bit. I mean, the Eagles are well known for pulling that linebacker up and working almost, that safety up in the linebacker position. And they're fairly deep at safety right now. So, I mean, maybe that's what they play. That we've seen the Eagles defense do that in the past. So it's not crazy to think. So maybe that's where they feel they're a little extra secure. Maybe I'm thinking too deeply into it.
Yeah. My X factor was Nakobe Dean. That is the guy. I'll go Cam Jurgens, a dude that hasn't played right guard. Everybody expects this Eagles offensive line to hit the ground running. Best unit in the NFL, period. And Cam Jurgens is out there. Luckily he's got a guy in Lane and Jason to kind of pick up the slack if he makes any mistakes. We'll see how he looks. We didn't really get any clear picture throughout the preseason, and he's going to be out there with the big guys. And what a big moment for him. So Cam Jurgens is definitely a guy that I already know what we're getting out of the majority of the Eagles' offensive line, but Jurgens is a guy I'm going to kind of be watching a little closer to see how he handles, communicates, things like that. Anybody else have an X factor? I have one more I'm really excited about that I want to get to. I'll just do it now. Sidney Brown. I'm really excited about Sidney Brown and what we're going to get out of this dude. I'm really curious what his snaps look like, especially week one. I expect Reed Blankenship to get a huge bulk of the snaps. But after that, you're going to see three guys rotating at that position. Where does Sidney Brown fall in that? He's been extremely impressive throughout the preseason. He's a heat-seeking missile everywhere he goes. He seems to always have a knack for being around the football, making big hits, making big plays. He's a playmaker. So I'm excited to see what Sean Desai sees out of him and how much he throws this dude into the fire week one. Anybody have thoughts on Sidney Brown or any other X factors in week one?
Yeah, I just to kind of jump on what you're saying, I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that we really didn't see a lot of these people in preseason, and that's just kind of what the norm is going to be. We're they have the joint practices. We're not really seeing the starters or the major players in the games, for the preseason. So I think there's a lot of like mystery or maybe a little concern because we haven't actually seen it, and we need to see that before we can kind of just settle it down. So I think with Jurgens, that's a big thing. Listen, he as Chris said, maybe he's a little small to play guard, but we've seen what he can do in brief little moments. We need to see more of that. He comes in, he has a great game. I think, again, you don't worry about it. You move on to the next thing. So I think that's what a lot of this is that we just need to see it, and then we'll be fine.
Yep.
I think the other X factor just goes in and kind of something you just touched on, Ryan, is the rust. Is the rust. I'm not worried so much about Super Bowl hangover. I'm sure a little bit that's going to play into it. But like you said, a lot of these guys, even the veterans, have not played a lot together as a unit. And we'll get into our predictions a little bit, but I expect a little like we saw last year against the Lions. I expect a little rust, a little sloppiness, little dysfunction, for lack of better words, in the beginning. So that will be an X factor in it as well. Will the rust of not playing a lot in the preseason? Because on the other hand, you got New England, who played a lot of their starters, played a lot of their guys. Now they're dealing with injuries. So it's like it's kind of a catch-22. So we'll see how that works out.
Chris says Jurgens may be a little small to play guard. We will see. We will see. That's the point.
They say the same thing about certain Jason Kelce. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I think I read Cam Jurgens and his combine numbers were right up there with Jason Kelce, if not better, comparable. So Walter says, "Can I watch halftime here?" We will be live halftime. Me and Shane. That's a fun show. It's like a 5 to 10 minute show, just running through our top takeaways. Trying to
must watch TV.
Yeah.
Trying to get it done before the third quarter starts is always like a race. It is a different animal in itself. How about Jamal Singleton, Eagles running back coach? We don't really know what this running back situation is going to reveal itself, I guess. Kenny Gainwell, DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny. There's a lot of talent at running back, but how will the snaps? How will that all play out? Jamal Singleton is the running backs coach. I don't know if he has anything to do with it, but Deuce Staley kind of was the guy who was pulling guys in, pulling guys out. Like, what is his role? I'm excited to see what that looks like. He could be an X factor in this one, so I'll be watching that for sure. Big Al, let's do our final ad of the day before we get into player of the game and score predictions.
Hey guys, it's hard to get tickets. Like we said, they're always hard to come by. You need to get a ticket for the game. You don't want to go to those other guys and pay $100 fees at the end of it. You go to sherrystickets.com. The price you see on the screen is the price you will pay at the end of the day. You will save even more money using that promo code EOP10. 10% off using EOP10 on top of the already great prices. That's sports, concerts, theater, you name it. There's hard to get tickets. I don't care if you live locally or across the country. They can help you get it. Don't use the other guys. Go to sherrystickets.com right now.
All right, let's get into player of the game and score predictions. Ryan, I know we did this on Birds of the Roundtable on Tuesday. Have you shifted at all? What is your gut feeling right now?
Well, listen, the only reason why I said what I said is because I didn't have the first pick. I think that's a key factor in all of this. I think easy first pick. You have to say Jalen Hurts, right? Come on. I mean, we all saw him, sitting there as the confetti came down. We all saw the report that's his lock screen on his phone. That picture of him with the red confetti from the Super Bowl. That man is so focused and determined to get the Eagles to a Super Bowl victory. I don't see how he doesn't come out and absolutely put on a show and absolutely put his stamp that, hey, listen, we're still here. We are still here, and we still run the NFC. And Jalen Hurts is going to come out and absolutely just destroy New England today, and I cannot wait. So, hey, listen, you went to me first. I'm going to take Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to miss that opportunity.
How original, how creative.
Hey, listen, I'm just trying to win, baby.
All right, Big Al.
I'll go next, and we've already just touched on him recently, but I'm going to go DeAndre Swift. Because the question is, hey, who's going to be? Is it going to be 50-50? Is it going to be this Gainwell? Is it going to be Penny? Is it going to be Swift? I think Swift will be the guy with the elements the way they're going to be, the way he runs, the way he can do it. I will go with DeAndre Swift. And I'm even going to double down with 2 TDs for Mr. Swift today.
Ooh, love it, man. Love that pick. That's where I was going outside of Jalen, actually. By the way, Quentin, speaking of Debbie Downer,
Quentin, let me tell you something. Do you know going into the game this Thursday, Patrick Mahomes was undefeated? in the home openers. This is why things need to get broken sooner or later, bud. So that means nothing to me today.
Love it. All right. Love the comments, guys. Keep them coming.
Oh,
Love the DeAndre Swift pick too. You know how many first downs the Eagles had by running backs via a screen pass in 2022? Can you guys guess?
None.
Say it again. You kind of broke up there.
How many first downs did the Eagles get in 2022 via running back screens? Goose egg. They had zero. Yeah. Absolutely zero. So DeAndre Swift is a great choice because I would love to see the Eagles screen game back in Philadelphia in 2023. That's what I'm excited to see there. But I'm going to also go chalk here, Ryan. I'm going to go Hassan Reddick. This guy's going up against Patriots offensive line that's a little banged up. Can they patch it all together? I don't think so. They're clearly going to have to bring a lot of help because Reddick, if he's starting out the gates as he finished 2022, he could have a huge day. I'm expecting 2 sacks and maybe one of those leads to a fumble and in a big moment. So I'm going to go Hassan Reddick. Big L's going DeAndre Swift, Jalen Hurts for Ryan. That about wraps it up. Wait, we didn't do score predictions.
Score.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ryan, score prediction.
I'm trying to remember what I came up with for the score prediction of the Birds of the Round Table. So I'd like to keep it similar, but I'm going to go 34-21 Eagles. I think this is a pretty good scoring game, even with the weather. I don't think it's going to affect it that much. Honestly, I just fully expect the Eagles offense to eat and absolutely crush that Patriots defense, which, don't get me wrong, is very good, but they're a little banged up. And, listen, first game, make a statement. Jalen Hurts, baby. Let's go.
Quinn, I can't.
Come on, Q. Let's go.
Jesus, where's the hype? Where's the?
Come on, Quinn. Where do you go from you, buddy?
Man, somebody peed in his Cheerios today. I'll tell you. See, Quentin joined the PM and the AM today, and he's already on the Pat Bernard. I'm afraid I need to get a dog train. So my score prediction, and I told you earlier, I already made it earlier in the week at Wednesday. I expect rust. I expect a little loose, button loosening by the end of the first half. Score could be 14-14. I'm going to think something like that, real close. But ultimately, the Eagles will get it right. Come out 28-17 will be your final score for your Philadelphia Eagles.
Nice.
Well, shit, that was my score. All right, I'll bump it up. I'll say 30-17.
Oh wow.
He's
got 2 extra points in there. Saturday really, it's shaking up. It's like he's playing The Price is Right. You go to close, about going over, right?
$1, Bob.
$1.
I'm excited to see what this Eagles offense. Brian Johnson, new coordinator there as well. They were so dominant in the first halves, all throughout 2022. Will we kind of have the same vibe? I think we will. I don't expect much to change with this Eagles offense. They know what they're great at. The Eagles offense is elite at making defenses guess wrong again and again and again, whether it's with the RPOs. You now have Albert O, and I'm excited to see, how he, changes this offense because it's pretty clear the Eagles want to do a lot of 11 and 12 personnel this year, especially 12, which stat-wise they weren't elite at. So I think we're going to get a lot of looks in that area with Alberto and Dallas Goedert on the same field and things like that. So I expect a heavy rushing attack. I'm excited to see, can the Eagles continue to dominate in that first half? And where in the second half last year, man, remember we just kind of kicked our feet up and we just kind of relaxed. They just kind of, sat on the ball. Sometimes it bit them in the ass, but we'll see what happens. That about wraps it up. Ryan, I'll throw it to you. Plugs, final thoughts. Eagles week 1.
Listen, all I can say is that we have finally made it after, a disappointing but ultimately a great season last year. We had a fantastic draft. We had a little bit of a rough beginning to the free agency offseason period, but Howie's did his thing again. He's gotten piece here, piece there, piece there. Is what he's been great at lately. And honestly, I couldn't be happier with this team right now. And couldn't be happier and more excited that we are finally here. We are hours away from watching our Birds get back to the Super Bowl and win the damn thing. So I can't wait for that. As far as what's going on, obviously, you all need to stay tuned to EOP. Get your pregame, get your halftime, get your postgame. Stay locked right here for constant coverage of the Birds throughout the season, every game. We're absolutely going to be coming to you live. I'm going to be coming to you live from the tailgates at home games. I can't wait. I am so excited for this season. But during the week, make sure you check us out. You can follow me at Philly Sports PSA on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it nowadays. And make sure you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, the whole thing. Put on those automatic notifications. That way, not only do you get all of the Philly Sports Alliance shows, but you get all of the EOP sports shows as well. So that's the best way to do it. Football Smack Talk show on Monday. Birds of the Round Table on Tuesday. What else am I doing?
Party on Broad.
We're doing the draft. We do the draft show on Monday as well, or the college football NFL draft show on Monday. It's just too much. But yes, just follow us. Make sure you give a like and a follow to these gentlemen up here. These guys are putting in work for the Birds and for Philly sports. So definitely do it. Quentin, I love you, buddy. Glad to at least see you give us an Eagles chant.
There it is. That's way better. Way better.
Thanks, Quentin.
You're winning me back.
I've heard Quentin apparently in the past, and he has not let it go.
I love it.
All right, Big Al, final thoughts, plugs.
I mean, it's really hard to follow that one up. So, Ryan, I'll take my best. But it has felt like a long time, even though we were one of the last two teams to play football in the NFL last year. But it has felt like a lifetime, but we are finally here. We are set and ready to go. As you said, EOP has you locked in from 0 to 60, man. No matter what, we got you 24/7. Shows, highlights, reels, posts, articles, you name it. We got it. Check out EOPsports.com. Check out the newsletter. Sign up for that. I'm actually going to be putting more newsletters out instead of just the weekly Friday ones with this Eagles season. We got so much Eagles content. I want to make sure it's going out during the week, maybe on Wednesdays. Might throw out a hump day one here and there. Just to keep you guys up to date. Also, like he said, all the Philadelphia sports are being covered with the Phillies in the postseason run. I'm down at the link covering it. Follow me here at Big Al EOP. I will be tweeting out as we're going along, getting you those locker room content and all that stuff for you as well. And check out the Fight and Fight. I'm on there as well, covering your Phillies for you. So that's it.
All right, guys. We will see you at Halftime Live, me and Shane, about 5-10 minutes, breaking down top takeaways, reaction, grades, all that kind of stuff. You know, what to expect heading into the second half. Again, post-game will go down immediately when the clock hits 0, unless it's a blowout. That's a different story. But when most of the time when the clock hits 0, we've got a special guest this week. He is Phil Stifle of Philly Sports Network, really close friend. He is the host of Trending in the AM, an amazing show that breaks down everything Philadelphia sports. So he'll be joining us as our special guest of the week. And as well as my man Ryan will be joining, I think, depending on how many of those drinks go down. We'll see. You never know. You never know.
I'm going to try not to do what I did for the Washington away game. We're just talking about
if his video comes up and it's just him laying on somebody else's shoulder, we know we had a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was me for Philly Sports Trips, passing out. So that was like second quarter, but I ran.
Hey, listen, when the trip starts real early at 6 a.m. and they put beers on the bus, we cannot be held responsible for what happens after that.
Exactly. I don't get out much, so this is what I do.
Love it. All right, guys, we are wrapping it up here. Again, we will see you at halftime. He is Big Al. He is Ryan Reese. I am Dives. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Again, please be sure to subscribe, like, everything, wherever you're watching. We will see you at halftime. Stay awesome, everyone.